Have you ever planned an event and then found yourself at the day of the event only having a few people in attendance? Or after the event, having nobody that decides they want to further have a conversation with you? It can feel so disappointing and so frustrating that you put all this time, effort, and money into something and then feeling like it didn't hit the mark. Well, how can you avoid that? Well, today, we want to talk about the number one event mistake that I see people make in their business and how you can make sure that you are setting yourself up for success and hitting the mark with any event you might do, because events are a fantastic way to show client appreciation as well as to prospect and meet new people. But how do you do it right? What is it that other people are missing? Well, the first off, I think we always go through the framework of talking about our S's, right? The winning system of talking about, do you have a strategy that starts with knowing your clients? What kind of event do they want to attend? What is something that's going to be a little bit more unique that they can't just go out and necessarily do on their own, or they won't make the time for because they're busy individuals, busy professionals, busy family members? How can you make sure that you provide something that they find a value and unique and special to them? Think about your scorecard. You have to know what success looks like for you. Is this just an appreciation event, or is this a prospecting event? Because then how you're going to set it up is very different, right? If it's just about giving back and people enjoying, who you invite might be a broader client base, versus if it's prospecting, maybe you're only inviting your best clients and asking them to bring somebody else. So you want to know on the outset, what is success? Is it feedback? Is it testimonials? Is it meeting a certain number of new people? Statement of investment. We always talk about the budget, right? We need to know, how much do you have to put into this? Because at some point you do care about return on investment. And while we can't necessarily always tie something back to say, hey, this person came to this particular event and that's why they decided to do business with us or bought more, you do want to understand how much effort you're putting in this. I have to look at this in my business too, when I think about how much time and energy we work on for certain contests or challenges that we think could be really helpful. But then when you look at how much is going into it, could you put that time and effort somewhere else that might generate better results for you? Important to know those answers to those questions. Think about from a budgetary perspective. Remember, it's 5 to 7% roughly of your revenue that should be going to marketing. Now, not all that's going to go to one event. So you want to keep that in mind, and also looking at how much maybe is going to your existing clients versus a prospecting effort and how you're allocating those dollars. The system. This is where the biggest mistake comes into place, is people don't have a system that they decide, hey, I'm going to do an event, and they don't necessarily know everything that goes involved in making sure that that event is a success, from sending out save the dates for invitations, for managing those invitations, following up, personally inviting people, to having something that really sticks with people that they can carry forward outside of the event, that continues to remind them after the event about what a wonderful experience that was that they had with you and your team. So the number one thing that I have, the mistake that I see, and it falls into this space, like I said, is not having enough lead time. Is that, yeah, you might want to get it all perfect, have everything lined up. But if you don't get on people's calendars, if you don't get the communication out there, get people excited about what's coming, then that is the number one thing that typically falls by the wayside and jeopardizes your success, is because you just don't have that runway to account for if certain people aren't available. Invite more people, or to remind people, get them excited, and make sure that they have it on their calendar, can plan for what's coming up in their busy lives, because it probably is something that they would enjoy doing. So make sure that you start typically 2 to 3 months ahead of when your event is going to take place, so that you can get those save the dates out there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just letting somebody know, hey, something's coming, mark your calendar, get this out there. And then you can follow suit as you have more of those details in place. So how do you start to develop that system? Have a process. We have templates that we use with our clients that all back into what the date is of when you're going to host something, because that is something that you need to start to think about to get that save the date out there and start everything. So we can help you with that. If you're interested and need help with those templates or resources, let us know. We can certainly send that to you. And then the final part of the process, right after we have a system, is our schedule. We do need to get it on the calendar, because if it all works off of that, and getting on your own calendar, getting it on your clients' calendars, those people that you want to meet, And the sooner it gets to the time, sometimes magically, I don't know how it works, but at least for me, I know sometimes magically somebody will invite you to do something like 2 days later, and you're like, oh my gosh, that works perfectly. Don't know how that ever happens, but it does once in a while. But do you want to count on that once in a while versus do you really want to set yourself up for success and plan ahead of time, get the communication out there, get it on the calendar? Because it does take effort, but it is worth it when you do it the right way. So consider these pieces so that you can make sure that you can avoid that number one mistake when you plan an event and you don't feel like you're just wasting dollars and throwing them down the drain or wasting your time or your team's time in terms of generating the results that you want to see and making the impact. You're creating the experience that you want others to have. We'll be back next Tuesday talking a little bit more about marketing strategies and winning plays. Have a great week.